I think we can all agree, I know we can all agree that getting a safe vaccine for COVID-19 is extremely important. But in order to do that, you have to conduct clinical trials. Joining us here this morning via Zoom is Dr. Anita Coley. She's with Arizona Clinical Trials, and she's here to tell us about a very important study they are conducting and how our viewers at home may be able to help you. Good morning, Dr. Coley. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Terry. Thank you for having me. We're excited.
Yes, I know everybody is really concerned about what's happening right now, but what you're doing could be a huge game changer. You are doing a series of studies right now for COVID-19. Tell us about the different studies you're doing.
Sure, absolutely. So we at Arizona Clinical Trials have been running clinical trials for a very long time. And with COVID, we've really shifted our focus to trying to bring clinical trials for treatment or prophylaxis to Arizona and to the local community, particularly given the extent of the pandemic here in the community and how hard we're being hit. When it comes to COVID, there are a variety of ways that we can think about targeting the virus. There are vaccines, which everyone I'm sure has heard about, but there are also medications that are in development for the treatment of COVID in the same way that we treat other infections such as influenza or traditional bacterial pneumonias. Right now, what we're working on is a clinical trial of an antibody. This is a monoclonal antibody that's infused to patients to try to give them protection against the virus and or decrease their symptoms. The concept of antibody therapy is similar to that which you may have heard is being used in hospitalized patients of convalescent plasma. So we take antibodies from people who've had disease and we give it to people who have not recovered from it with the idea that these antibodies may prevent them or prevent the infection from getting worse and in some situations even make them better. So this is an antibody therapy that we have for people who've not been hospitalized. This is made as a medication, so we're not taking it from other people. It's actually synthesized in a lab. We're able to give high doses of antibodies that target the virus, prevent its interaction with cells in the body where it causes disease, and hopefully make people's symptoms better, prevent hospitalizations and other complications.
So what you're working on right now is for somebody who already has been tested positive and currently has those symptoms, right? This is not about prevention at this point?
That's correct. So the first trial that we have is for people who have been diagnosed with COVID or suspected COVID, and they can call us and we'll tell them all about this clinical trial for treatment. Okay. The second trial that we have actually is for people who live with those who've been infected with COVID or diagnosed. And the idea is to give them the same medication and see if we can prevent them from getting infection. So that's actually a prevention trial. So at this point, we actually have two different trials open, one for people with disease and one for people who's been exposed or live with those who have infection to try to prevent it. So this is very exciting.
It is very exciting. So who should be calling you? What types of participants are you looking for specifically?
So the first group of people we're looking for are those with diagnosed or suspected COVID with symptoms for less than 6 days. And the symptoms should be fever, cough, or shortness of breath. So these are people with mild to moderate symptoms, and we can see if you're eligible to come on to this treatment trial to try to make symptoms better and or prevent complications. Okay. The second group of patients we're looking for are actually those who are living with people who are infected with COVID. So if someone in your house has been diagnosed with COVID, call us within 96 hours of their test. And we can get you in and see if you're eligible for what we call this prophylaxis study or prevention trial, where we would treat you to try to prevent you from getting symptoms.
Okay, one final quick question. How far realistically do you think we are from a vaccine to prevent COVID-19?
I think, when you watch the national news and you listen to the experts, the consensus is that we're at least a year away from that at this point. I think the earliest possibly could be January, February, the way the data is looking, but that's probably wishful thinking. But of course, I, just like everybody, wish for that to be true. But I think we still are a ways off from that, which makes the development of medications to treat this disease that much more important. So that's what we need to do at this point.
Right. Well, we hope that we have inspired some of our viewers today who could possibly help you out with that. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. Let me give them some information. The Arizona clinical trials, they're looking for non-hospitalized patients. Anyone in Arizona 18 or older who tests positive for COVID-19 may qualify. You can contact Arizona Clinical Trials at 480-360-4000 or 520-445-4000 or visit the website azclinicaltrials.com/COVID.